Hi friends, welcome to STEAM class. My name is Mr. Klausner. You can also call me Mr. K. I'm excited to be back to school and I'm excited to be doing experiments again, making videos again. I want to introduce you to two very special guys who will be in a lot of our videos.
This is Willie. Willie used to be in STEAM class for 2 years, but now he's 6 and he's in first grade. And this is Amos. Amos is in STEAM class right now, just like you.
Well, before we do anything else in STEAM class, we have to talk about what STEAM class is. Has anybody ever heard the word STEAM before? It's a word that I use in the kitchen sometimes. Steam means water vapor. It's what happens when you heat water up really hot. And then the water makes kind of a smoky looking steam on top of the pan or the kettle. And that can be very hot and you have to be careful around it. But it's just made of water that's been heated up very high and it evaporates or dries out of a pot of water. And that's one meaning of steam. But STEAM class, there's a dot after every letter. It's S.T.E.A.M. And those dots or periods tell me that each letter stands for its own word. So STEAM class doesn't mean boiling water with smoke coming off the top. It means science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Science means coming up with interesting questions and then making a really good guess about what the answer might be and using clever tests or experiments to see if that guess is correct. The great thing about science is even when you're wrong, you learn something. But if you want to know the answer to the question, you might have to make a second guess and do some second tests. And a third. Sometimes it takes scientists many guesses and many tests, but with enough scientists working hard at something, they'll come up with the answer eventually. Technology, that's the T, technology. Technology means using the things we learn in science to create new stuff we've never had before. So that can be new machines or electronics. It could be space rockets, it could be all kinds of things. But we couldn't do it if we didn't answer a lot of questions with science so that we had information that we could use to make cool new things. The E is for engineering. Engineering is something that engineers do. Not the trained kind of engineers, but I'm talking about people who use math and science to make incredible structures like bridges and buildings. They don't just take parts and start putting them together. A lot of smart engineers have to use science and math to figure out how these things are going to work. Art. Art seems like the one thing that doesn't belong on this list, but I think it does. I think it's important because without the A, STEAM would just say STEM. And art makes it a whole lot more fun. And it uses some important parts of our brain too. Art, most of you know, but art means people being creative and coming up with awesome ideas in their imagination and using those ideas to make something that is beautiful or interesting. And it's important to put those skills together with the math skills and the science skills so that all of these incredible things that we can make through math and science are also beautiful and interesting. Well, I may have given it away already, but the M is for math. You guys probably know what math is already, right? Math has to do with numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But there's so many more you never run out. I'm guessing of all of our STEAM buddies, there's probably some people who are working on counting to 10. And there's probably some people who are already working on counting to 100. So wherever you're at, we'll just keep working on it and working on it and work on it with your moms and dads. Math is numbers and the way that numbers behave when you mix them together in all kinds of ways. And it would be very hard to do engineering, technology, and even science if we didn't understand our numbers. So I hope that you'll find out that numbers can be fun and helpful. Soon we're going to start doing some great experiments together. But first, we've really got to get our counting down. So let's work on it, wherever you're at this week. If you're counting to 10, let's find some things in groups of 10 or fewer that you can count. Maybe forks on the table at dinner time, or bananas in a bunch. If you're working on counting to 20, and that's a big one, it's kind of a tough one. Maybe you can count the number of spoons in your silverware drawer, or the number of eggs in a carton. And if you're working on counting to 100, maybe you can work on counting all the silverware in the silverware drawer, or maybe you can work on counting the number of M&Ms that come in a little pack of M&Ms. That could be fun. So practice counting anything you see that you could think you can handle. And I want to know from you, what's the highest you can count all by yourself? And what's the highest you can count with a little help from a grown-up? I can't wait to hear the answers. I'll see you next week with some experiments.